What's up, YouTube peeps and barbecue freaks? Thank you guys for joining me today. Hey, Happy New Year. Hope you guys had a wonderful New Year. Today's video is going to be a rub review, and we're going to sell these rubs that were sent to me, that were given to me to try out. They're from Los Pendejos. I just like saying that name. Los Pendejos. One is their Cluckin' Red, which is a chicken rub, and the other is their Muy Texas, which is a brisket and rib rub. From Los Pendejos. The name people come up with. I like it though. We're going to try both of those rubs out. And instead of doing one video where, you know, one is just chicken, one is just ribs, one is just brisket, I'm going to knock out all three in one cook. We're going to throw a brisket, some ribs, and some chicken on the Traeger, kiss it with some oak pellets, and see how these rubs work out. So, right out of the container, I'm really digging that chicken one. Let's hope I'm as excited at the end of the cook about it. Let me show you the brisket I got. We're going to give it very, very minimal trimming. It's a smaller brisket, about 7 pounds. And so I'm not going to do a whole lot of trimming to it. But I am going to remove some of the fat and get it seasoned up and on the Traeger. Let me show you what the brisket looks like. I got a rack of spare ribs. I'm going to do minimal trimming on that. And I'll show you that once I pick up, once I get to that part. We'll get them seasoned up, get them on the Traeger. Let's see how this turns out. All right, so I have the brisket here already trimmed up. I did very minimal trimming on it. I'm not gonna use like my SPG as the base rub like I normally do. I want to see what this rub tastes like all by itself. So just gonna give it a good coating. Make sure I got the right one. Yep. Los Pendejos Muy Texas. Get that turned over. And you notice this slit in here. This brisket came like this, which is kind of bothering me some, but it is what it is. It was just a small one I just happened to pick up just for this. So it is what it is. But it is a choice brisket. So, oh, I did move the hard fat off of here, and that was it. Just get the top rub down, and I'm gonna let it sit for a while. I don't know, probably about 20 minutes, and then we'll get the Traeger fired up while it's doing that. Are you guys, the brisket is sweated in? That rub is sweated in, as you can tell. So I've got the Traeger fired up. I'm gonna cook this at 250 degrees. And the idea is to get this done in about 6 hours. So I'm going to take it outside, get it on the Traeger, and get this cook underway. And get this lid closed. So I will be spritzing with the 50-50 mix of apple juice and apple cider vinegar, but probably not for about a good hour, hour and a half. Get the lid down and we'll pick back up in a bit. All right, for the ribs, I've got this rack of Smithfield pork spare ribs, a little over 5.5 pounds. So we're gonna get this open, get it trimmed up. So the first thing I'm gonna do is remove this brisket bone here. I'm not gonna turn these into a St. Louis cut. I'm actually going to leave the rib tips on. But I am going to do some trimming on the rib tips. So, there's that part. I'm going to remove this skirt from the back. And with that is going to come a lot of this fat you see here. I am going to cut it right about here. That little piece will burn off there at the end. And then, so here you have your ribs and here you have your rib tips. I'm going to just round this off a little bit. And remove this edge here. Just so that, you know, they look a little nicer. You could definitely leave that on if you want, but I mean, this is like really thin. in my opinion, it'll burn up and become useless. So I'm just gonna remove it. All right, so I got it trimmed up. I already seasoned the backside. Again, we're using the Moy Texas from Los Pendejos. This is the one that's supposed to be their brisket and rib rub. So this is where we're going with. And again, no other base layer or base rub like my SPG. Strictly this Los Pendejos. And I'm expecting this to sweat in fairly quickly just because of the salt content in this, which is actually the very first ingredient. So we'll let this sit for you know, probably 15 minutes. Let that rub sweat in, and then we'll get them on the Traeger. This rub is sweated in on these ribs. We're gonna get them on the Traeger now. All right, you guys, brisket's on, ribs are on. We'll put the chicken on the top shelf once it's time to get those on. But again, 250, get the lid closed, and we'll pick back up in about an hour to start spritzing. All right, you guys, the brisket has been on for right at about 3 hours, and the ribs have been on for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. This is what they're looking like. I will say I was a little concerned about the color of the brisket. It was actually looking really red, kind of similar to the ribs, but the color has actually transformed some, and I'm getting, you know, a little darker color, which is what I was hoping for. So looks good. It's just got a 50-50 mix of apple juice and apple cider vinegar. Give it a spritz. I'm actually really liking the color of this brisket. So I think the rub is going to work just fine. And my goal at this point is, like the ribs, I'm going to try not to wrap anything. I might wrap the brisket, but only so I can, on the last couple of hours, kind of speed up the cook. But I'm going to try to cook the ribs without wrapping. I don't want to put any of the brown sugar or honey, anything like that. So this is what they're looking like. Again, 3 hours for the brisket and about 2 hours and 15 minutes on the rib. I think I am going to sauce the ribs. I might even sauce half of the brisket. I want to taste this rub by itself, but I also want to taste the rub with a sauce that I use in competition. So we'll see. I haven't decided yet, but this is what it's looking like now. Looking good. I'll continue to spritz every 20-30 minutes until they're done. All right, you guys, I've got some chicken here. I went with some legs, chicken legs, mainly because I actually want to, I'm going to rub them all the same, but a couple of them I'm going to sauce differently. I want to see how this rub works with a couple of different sauces. So doing chicken legs instead of a whole chicken is going to allow me to do that. And we're using the Los Pendejos Clucking Red. Just give it a nice coating. I like the color of this rub. So we'll see how they look at the end. Just give them a nice even coating. And then we're gonna get them on the Traeger. So I'm probably gonna leave like 2 of them unsauced, and then 2 or 3. And then I'm gonna try some different sauces on some of these other ones. All right, you guys, this brisket has been going for 4 hours. This is what it's looking like. This bark is set. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of beef broth to it. And that's it. So we'll get it wrapped up. I'll get some beef broth poured in here. And then we're gonna put it back on the Traeger for another hour. And at that point, it should be done. We should be able to pull it off, let it rest for a little while, and then cut into it. But, all right, you guys, these ribs have been going for right about 3.5 hours. So this is the color that they've taken on. Look good. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap, and I am gonna add just a little bit of apple juice to the wrap, just so that way it has some moisture in there. And I didn't want to do all the whole brown sugar, honey mixture. I wanted to, you know, make sure that I could taste this rub here. So I'm simply going to take some apple juice, put it in the mix here. Let me fold this up real quick. Hey guys, so these chickens are just about done. I've taken 2 of them. I'm going to sauce one of them with this Hill Country apple habanero, which is a sauce that I really, really like. And then I'm going to sauce the other one with this Texas Wizard glaze. I haven't tried this on chicken yet, but I hear it's really good, so we're going to give it a shot. So again, I'm going to sauce one chicken with this one with this one, get them back on the Traeger, and the other 3 I'm leaving blank, or I'm leaving unsauced. We're going to have those with just a sauce, but you see this chicken's got some nice color on them. They look really, really well, or look really, really good. So they look like. So again, I'm gonna sauce each one of these up and get them back on, and then we'll taste test them once they're done. All right, you guys, the chicken is done. This is what it looks like. Got some nice color on this chicken, so I'm digging that. This one is the one that I sauced, and that's the one that I used the Texas Wizard glaze on. These are the other chickens here. These 2 on the outside are not sauced, the one in the middle is sauced, and that one is the one that I used the Hill Country apple habanero on. But you can see this chicken, it actually looks really, really good. It's got some nice color on it, so I like that. This chicken here, look at that. I'm digging it. And then of course this is the one that was glazed. Nice sheen on there. So I'm gonna let them rest for just a few minutes, and then we're gonna give them a taste. Alright guys, we're gonna try this chicken. This is the one that has not been sauced at all. So I'm gonna take a bite. The miss is gonna take a bite off camera. Yeah, take any piece. We'll see what we think. I like it. This chicken, I don't know if you can make it out. You can't make it out. It's moist. It's dripping.
It's dripping. It's good.
Mmm. I like it.
I like the color on it.
Nice color.
I like the flavor.
Yeah. It's kind of salty, but not. It's not like really salty. I like it.
It's just the right amount.
Just the right amount. That was the Dos Pendejos Cluck and Red that we used on that one.
So you don't want to. It's good that it's not overpowering because you don't have to add a lot of it for it to get the good flavor.
Yeah, I don't think I added a lot, but it was flavorful. I like it. I dig it. I'm gonna cut up some of these other 2 that I sauced up, and I'm gonna give them a taste and see how they taste. So let me get that cut up, and I'll pick back up. Right, the first one we're gonna try with the sauce is gonna be the one with the Hill Country apple habanero. Just take a piece there. It's all the same.
Oh.
I didn't cut the other one up yet.
Okay.
So, nice glaze. It's very, very moist.
On chicken, that's good. I've had it on ribs.
Yeah.
It's good. And in my mind, I'm thinking the habanero would be like, you would get spice, but it's not. No. It's good.
Yeah, don't let the name fool you. It's good. I'm going to cut that other one up with the Texas Wizard glaze. That's one I'm really interested in trying. All right, next up is the chicken that was sauced with the, what is it? The Texas Wizard glaze. That's what we're going to try next. I love the sheen, the color that it gives it. See what it tastes like.
So you bite it at first. It's got like that sweet, but then it's got that heat on the back end. That's what I get from it.
I don't pick up any heat. But that's because I like really spicy stuff. She's a little more sensitive to it. But out of those two sauces, which one did you like best? The first one or the second one?
I'm gonna have to say the Wizard Glaze.
Yeah.
I like that one.
I think so too. I really like the Wizard Glaze. I think it works really well with the rub. I'd like a little more heat personally for me, especially in competitions. I think you need a little more heat. So I know that Wizard Glaze is the spicy version. However, the only reason it's spicy is not because they added anything to it to make it spicy, but because they left out, I think he said the sugar, or I think it was the sugar, but I think they left out one ingredient that just made it spicy, but they didn't add anything to it to make it spicy. So that's why it's not burning your mouth, but it's also not as sweet. It is a sugar because it's not as sweet as the original Texas Wizard Glaze. So while it's spicy, it's not hot, but I would like to add something that has a little more heat to it. So
and I like it the way it is.
yeah, she doesn't like heat. So anyway, that's the chicken. The ribs are still going. The brisket's still going, and we'll pick back up. That should be done, fairly shortly. So we're gonna let that continue to cook, and we're gonna gnaw on some of this chicken. So stay tuned. The ribs are done. I did sauce them with this Hill Country apple habanero. I like this on the ribs, and I wanted to see how this worked out. So I skipped that part. Just I'm trying to not make this video too long, but I sauced them after they were wrapped for 1 hour. After 1 hour, I unwrapped them, I sauced them, and then let them sit on the pit for about 10-15 minutes. And this is what we're looking like. So they're done. So I'm gonna give them a taste and see what they taste like. All right, guys, I got a piece of the rib here. I'm gonna give it a shot. Got some nice color. Let's see what it tastes like. Oh wow! Here, try this real quick, baby. Give a piece to the missus. Try that. Tell me what you think. That's good. Right? That's good.
That is really good.
I got to go in for another. And what I did is I just cut some meat off the bone, so I'm not holding up the whole bone. Damn it, son.
That is really good.
So that was the. I'm sorry, guys. Don't mean to be doing that on camera, but it's good. So this was the Dos Pendejos Moy, Texas, on ribs. That's good.
That's super good.
Yeah, it is, right?
Yep.
It's really good. Oh man. I think in a competition, a little more heat, but man.
Good.
You hear the missus. Eating around the house, or just use this rub, period. I like it. I really, really like it on some ribs. It's a good rub. So, only thing left is a brisket. That should be coming off here shortly. We'll let it rest for a little while and give it a taste. But so far, I really, really dug that chicken rub on some chicken just by itself. With some of the sauces, it was great. But if we're looking for a really good chicken rub that is good just by itself, that here it is. No, that's not it. Where did I put? Oh, right here. This Cluckin' Red from Dos Pendejos, really, really good. I'm digging it. And again, this Moy, Texas, from or Moy, Texas. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. From Dos Pendejos on the ribs, excellent. I'm definitely digging it. I can't wait to see how this brisket turns out. All right, you guys, this brisket is done. What I've done is I took it out of the foil, put it in a separate pan, and I've got the liquid here that I'm separating the fat from. But what I've done with the brisket is, you could tell, half of it I sauced, and I used the Hill Country apple habanero for the sauce, and half of it I left unsauced. I want to try it without sauce, but I also want to see how this rub works with the sauce. So I just try to split it right down the middle, half sauce, half sauce, half unsauced, and we'll see what it tastes like. All right, you guys, the brisket has rested. I'm going to cut it up. Right about right here is the halfway point where on this side I sauced, on that side I didn't. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this right in half, right in here. See what it looks like. Oh man, look at that. Looks good. So I'm going to cut some of this flat and we're going to give it a taste. Let's go right in here. So this is what this flat is looking like. We've got a nice smoke ring on here. So I sauced up. It looks really good. Man, oh man, look at that. Very, very moist. Oh, it looks so good. I'm gonna take this, cut against the grain, and then we'll get to taste in both pieces. All right, so I got the brisket cut up. You can see here, this is the part that was sauced. It just looks good. Nice smoke ring. All right, that heavy breathing. This guy right here, look at him. Just waiting for some brisket, aren't you? I'm gonna try the piece of brisket that I did not sauce. I gotta be honest, I thought it'd be a lot more saltier than it is. It's not as salty as I thought it was going to be. It got some decent flavor, some good flavor in here. I actually thought it'd be a lot more, that there would be a lot more heat, or a little more heat than I'm picking up. We're gonna give this is the part that was sauced. A whole lot better. I definitely prefer it sauced. That rub that I used on the brisket was the same one that I used on the ribs. On the ribs, I mean, you guys saw it. It was excellent. I really, really dug it on the ribs. On the brisket, I would probably add some more pepper, some heat, and even maybe a little more sauce. In fact, I probably would hit it with my SPG as the first rub, and then come back with a little bit of cayenne or something in there, just to add a little more heat. The rub, it's got some good flavor. I was expecting a little more salty. I was expecting the flavors to be a little stronger than they are, but it's not bad. However, on ribs, excellent. That rub, the same rubs I use on the brisket, the same ones that I use on the ribs, absolutely phenomenal. It was great. The chicken rub was really, really good. If you're looking for a rub that's really good on chicken and one that's really good on ribs, I would say try these two rubs. If you're interested in trying them, I will leave a link below on where you can order them. Again, I don't get a kickback or anything. I just want to share rubs with you guys that I think are, good and that I think you guys would like. So, you can go and order some if you like. It's up to you, but I will leave a link below. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and again, hope you guys had a fabulous new year. I will see you guys next time. Take care.